Hello and good evening, everyone. Hello and good evening. Let's start this video over here. Hello and good evening, everyone. Good evening, everybody. Good evening, everyone. Wait for you guys to come on. Hello, everyone. How are you doing? Happy Sunday. Hey there, Nehemias. Hey there, how are you doing? Welcome to my YouTube channel. Well, you already asking questions. I haven't even had a chance to talk yet. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Thank you for being here this evening. Thank you for joining me. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you for your support. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Let's get it where I can see the comments over here on the other side. Welcome to all of you that are new to my YouTube channel. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for being here. Probably like 15 minutes from Dallas. That's what I'm talking about. Hey there, from Dallas. Good evening. Oh, really, Sandra? Hi, Miss Sandra. Well, welcome for the first time to the live stream. I usually just leave it open for questions and answers if you guys have any questions. Oh, thank you so much. I am so honored. Okay, let me make sure I say it right. Is Nehemias? Is that correct? Thank you so much. I'm so honored. Hey there, Miss Anita. Hey, Michael. How are you? Good to see you too. Well, at least your picture. Hey there, Beauty Within. How are you? Welcome, you guys. First time. Hi, Miss Cynthia. Well, welcome, first timer. Welcome to my channel. Thank you so much for being here. I am so honored. Hey there, Miss Angel Grace. How are you doing, ma'am? Thank you so much for the links that you sent. Hey, TMG. My girl is here, you guys. She is the narc slayer. So she will be doing much slaying on here. So if you guys, hey there, Miss Gina. So if any trolls come up, let Miss TMG know. She's going to knock him out the box for you guys. Thank you so much. I'm going to tell you guys about a conversation that me and TMG had maybe later on in the broadcast. I am really so honored that she shared her tragedy to triumph. Yeah, she's the narc slayer. Not slayer. Thank you so much for joining. I'm going to share a story with you guys. Miss TMG told me that I can. Hey there, Miss Gina. So nice for you to be here. Okay, so I'm going to practice all my languages, okay? We got hola. We have hello, servus, Germany, bonjour, oi. Hold on, let me think. We have heli, good dog, namaste. Hey there, Melanie. Namaste. What else do we have? What was the Japanese word? I know annyeonghaseyo, Korean. What else do we have? Hola, did I say hola? Oi, Brazil. Let me think. Konnichiwa, Japan. I said heli, so that was Australia. Good dog was Denmark. Bonjour was Ottawa, Canada. Let's think what else. Good day, mate. UK. How do you do, Walter? How are you doing, sir? How do you do, the English one? The one from America. How are you guys doing? Thank you so much for joining me this evening. I'm going to just do a little talking while we're waiting for everybody to come on, get the family in here. You kicking? You're not kicking narcs, are you? Hello, there's Arelicia. What a pretty name, Arelicia. That is a beautiful name. Welcome to all the new subscribers. Thank you so much for being here. I'll get here. Miami, that's right. Where the cold is. What? The brutal blizzard in Miami? Says not so. Thank you guys. So all you new subscribers, thank you so much for joining me. I'm really honored. As you know that I pre-record. Yeah, if they get in the way. That's what I'm talking about. Beaver, Utah. Hey, Miss Terry, how are you? So for those of you that are new, thank you for joining me. And as you know, I pre-record Tuesday through Friday based on a lot of times you guys send me questions and so, or ask me to do video. Hey, Miss Tanya. you ask me guys questions, or you ask me to do specific topics, and so I do a lot of the questions that you guys ask. I think they're pretty good topics. I have a whole bunch of written on my calendar at my job. Hey, Miss Jamila, how are you? And what ends up happening is I take those and I make videos out of them, the questions that you guys ask me. And so I think it's only fair that, you guys have the opportunity to ask me questions live on Sundays, where you guys are actually provoking my thought to see, because a lot of times I do, well, not a lot of times I study, the material that I'm going to talk about to try to bring you guys the best information that I possibly can during the weekday, and get to laugh at my own self while I'm recording it. And you guys enjoy the laugh too, so I'm glad. And then on Sundays, I provide you guys an opportunity to ask me questions. You're free to ask me questions. Hey, Ms. Ruth, how are you? And so I just, while we're waiting for people to come on, let me say this one thing. When it comes to healing, you are responsible for your healing. Big hugs and pain, no grief, no contact, subside in time. Yes, you are absolutely right. The longer the relationship, the longer the healing. You got to remember, a lot of times people, you guys are fresh in the discard. The pain is unbearable. Not only is the pain unbearable, a lot of times you're in denial. You can't believe that someone that you've been with this long could possibly not have emotions or compassion. March marks the month 18 of no contact. Good job, Gina. I'm proud of you. Then you keep it going. So eventually you can say, this is my 18th year. Oh, I love you too, Miss Ruth. Thank you so much. But you guys remember, healing is our personal responsibility. Narcissist abuse is something, there's a difference between breaking up in a relationship. Hola, namaste. How are you, Red? Welcome. 3 months. That's what I'm talking about. And Gray Rock, absolutely. You got to think for a minute when you're in a, well, as I said before, we don't even know what a normal relationship is. Hey, Miss Lynette, how are you? Feels like a year. That's good. Feels like a year. Hey there, Jay. How are you? Miss Julie, welcome. But remember, when you're in a relationship with a narcissist, this is different than being in a relationship with the average person. Thank you for being here, Miss Lynette. When there's a break, when you have breakups with people, whether they cheated, hey, Miss Clara. But whether you're breaking up with a person, a lot of times, of course, your feelings are hurt. It didn't work out. They cheated. They, whatever happened, and you guys break up. Hey, Miss Vicky, how are you? And, when you break up with an individual, it's not the same as when you're discarded by a narcissist. The pain is totally different, because you got to remember that narcissists, there's a difference between being in a toxic relationship where you're trying to have a relationship. Maybe it would work out with that person. Maybe the other person is trying to have a relationship, whatever. And sometimes people are immature and people have narcissistic traits. Doesn't mean that they're narcissists. When you break up, eventually you just get over it. But think about being in a relationship with a person that purposely, hey, Miss Teresa, a person that purposely wants to drain you of all your energy. You have something that they want, and they want it, whether it's your joy, whether it's your happiness, whether it's your finances, whether it's your social status. But they purposely are in the relationship, and they know exactly what they're doing when they're damaging you. And a lot of times, if you look back at history, and this is something that TMG and I were talking about, was she actually had the opportunity, after all that time being away from the narcissist, and then having to come in contact with the narcissist to do her last business. I love you too, Miss Tanya. Hava, thank you so much. I really, really appreciate you. And thank you for sharing my videos. I'm so honored. Sometimes the whole conversation doesn't show up. Thank you so much, Miss Tanya, for sharing. I really appreciate it. But when Miss TMG and I were talking, and she's the peppermint lady. She's the one to suck on peppermint to help her through her stress dealing with the narcissist. And she shared with me that, she was hurting, and she had to do some business transaction with the narcissist, and ended up having to be back in the vicinity. And one thing that she noticed, which I'm going to talk about, is that the narcissist, hey, Soaring Feather. And when she saw the narcissist, number one, she didn't realize how much healing had taken place. When you distance yourself, you go no contact, and you distance yourself, and you give yourself space to heal, You know, your healing process is taking place, but sometimes you don't realize just how powerful that space, that time away, and that no contact, they have you all the time. So they have the opportunity to manipulate you and to trauma bond you. Hey, Crimson Fire. But they always, they have the opportunity when they're in close proximity, they have the opportunity to continuously trauma bond with you. Miss TMG, you want to ask a question? Thank you for the, hold on, let me see. For that power chat. Thank you. What would you like to say, Miss TMG? Hold on, let me, you are, but one of the things, hold on, let me click on there. You know, her and I were talking about opportunity to actually have to face her narcissist after time away and time to recover. And what she said is that she was sucking on her peppermint. She probably had like a peppermint about big as my head, but sucking on peppermints on her way down there to conduct business. And when she saw the narcissist, she saw the narcissist for what the narcissist really was. When you met your narcissist, they were in character. When you get away from the narcissist, if they haven't got good supply, if they've gotten poor supply, you'll see them for what they're really worth. And what happens is, it's almost like, remember, they are when they morph into this new sort, they morph into their new supply. So whatever this new supply is, it's almost like they morph into this new supply. And when they morph into this new supply and they take upon the characteristics of the new supply, it's almost like, remember, you're affected by who you're connected to. And what happens is, it's almost like they drain you to a point where they look healthy and then you look sick. You look dried out and they look like vampires. They look healthy. They look, you know, you're looking at them, they look healthy, they're happy, you think they're happy, they're not. And it's almost like they've taken all your energy, they've sucked you dry and transferred everything over to them. Now, you look like what the narc really is. Once you get away from the narcissist and you have the time to heal and to refresh and everything, if you catch that narcissist of what they're really like, you'll notice once you get your power back, when you really, really get your power back, they can't look at you. They cannot handle people with power. And the thing is that some of you guys have been wounded and hurt so bad that the process of healing is taking a while. Depending on how long you've been in a relationship, these people are not just normal, average people. These people try to mess you up psychologically, mess you up. Hello, Just Queenie, how are you? But they try to mess you up psychologically. They try to mess you up emotionally, psychologically, same thing. You know, anything that they possibly do to just totally damage you, you know. And when you get away from them, the one thing that a narcissist cannot handle is strength. When you've learned and you watch videos, you learn and you get to understand what has happened to you, you'll get your power back, you get your strength back. And that's why I say it is your responsibility to heal. If you, just like in therapy, when people come to me and they want to lose weight, I can't go to the gym and lose weight for you. I'm going to give you some tools. We'll set up some plans, you know, but it's still ultimately your responsibility to go to the gym, stop eating as much as you're eating and lose weight. Am I correct? And so in order to lose weight, you have to put forth an effort to lose weight. The same thing in the healing process. Yes, the narcissist got a hold of you. Yes, the narcissist has done some damage. Yes, that narcissist has put poison in your system and now you're trying to recover, but ultimately it's your responsibility. You have to make up your mind and decide, I am going to heal. That's why you go no contact. That's why you put distance in there. And I know it's hard because remember, you're addicted to a person. You are addicted to a person. You are trauma bonded to a person. They did that on purpose. They trauma bonded you to them so that you are literally addicted to them. And when they pull away, you start having withdrawal symptoms to a person, and you have withdrawal symptoms bad that you just want any kind of contact with them, any kind of word from them, even if it's a harsh word. This is just like drug addicts. You have to make up your mind that you're going to heal. It is your responsibility. And you have to find your own self-worth. You've got to find your worth. Use your responsibility to heal. And the best way, I have people emailing me and holding me responsible for making them feel better. I'm going to share the videos, but you have to get the knowledge from the videos. And I think there was a young lady that asked on YouTube and sent an email, and then some of you guys responded to her where the narcissist beat her up. beat her up when she caught him cheating. And I don't think they were married very long, but she got beat up by the narcissist. And the question that she kept asking is how do you know that he's really a narcissist? And just kept asking the same question over and over again, is how do you know are you sure that's a narcissist? First of all, one of the ladies responded to her, and I agree 100%. Whether that individual is a narcissist or not, the point is that he hits you. Anytime a man or even a woman in a case of a man and even with a woman, anytime they have to put their hands on you and control you or to hurt you, put their hands and they're not loving you with their hands and they have to strike you, it doesn't matter whether they're a narcissist or not. That's not a relationship you should be in the first place. You never, ever accept abuse, and you never accept disrespect. Never, ever. You never, hey there, Miss Jeanette, you never accept abuse. So it doesn't matter whether the person is a narcissist or not. And really the stuff that she was saying, describing him, was a narcissist. But the point is if he put his hands on you, you shouldn't be with him in the first place. And if they do it one time, they'll do it again. Hey there, Miss Cherie. If a person puts their hands on you one time, they're going to do it again. And for those that don't believe that a woman can abuse a man, I was in the military and I remember watching a guy come in, really nice guy too. He always had cuts in his uniform. So he always had the pieces of the uniform in the back. Hey there, have gun will travel. But he had cuts and stuff in the back of his uniform. And so eventually one day I asked him what was going on. And he was like, bro, he says, my wife, she jumps on me. She beats me up. And I've always been taught not to put my hands on a woman, but not only that, she takes my uniform and she cuts him up with a knife and she jumps on me, she bites me, and I told him, I said, you're going through abuse. And so this woman was abusing her husband, but the husband refused to put his hands on the wife, but I would tell him the exact same thing that I would tell a woman. If she's got to put her hands on you, then this is not a relationship. That has no respect. You have no value whatsoever. And if a man punched you in the mouth, they don't have no value. They have no respect for you. And if you keep taking them back, you keep putting your value down. If you look, I tell you guys this all the time. TMG, if you can chime in, when you go to correct me if I'm wrong, if you go to a Lamborghini car shop or car dealership, or if you go to a Rolls-Royce dealership, a luxury, high-class place to buy, hey, Miss Shirley, how are you? But if you go to a Rolls-Royce, Maybach, Lamborghini, any kind of expensive Maserati, any of those expensive car lots, 9 times out of 10, you probably won't see a price tag on there. And at the same time, if you got to asking how much money do I need to put down to make my payments, you don't belong on that lot, period. Because they understand the value of their cars. And how many have you seen commercials for Rolls-Royce, Maseratis, Lamborghinis? You don't see any commercials. You know who advertise those cars? The rich and the famous, the wealthy people. And you know who buy those cars? The rich and famous. The wealthy people are people trying to be or try to look wealthy, or a narcissist that tries to look like they're rich and wealthy. But they don't have to prove themselves. They know the quality of the automobiles that they have. They know the value of the cars that they sell. So they don't have to prove anything to you. You come to the lot, you better have some money. You don't come on the lot asking, how can I get some low payments? And so, exactly. So those that go to those car lots are those that can afford them. Now, I go to the car lot and start decreeing some stuff. I'm a wealthy woman. And I go and touch the car if I have to. Let me go sit in the car. Let me look at it. I don't have to ask you the price. Let me just look at it. Let me see what it smells like, But the point is, if you're going over there to buy a car, you're not going to ask them. So if they don't have a price tag on a car, why you put a price tag on yourself? And that's male and females alike. Anytime a person disrespects you, anytime a person has to put their hands on you, and they'll let you know who they are, and they'll do it again. They will do it again. Thank you, Miss Gina. They'll do it again. And you have so much more worth than that. You're worth more than a Lamborghini. You're worth more than a fleet of cars. You have worth, and you need to hold people accountable to your worth. When you go buy, you buy Jordans, you're buying his name. We're paying for his name, his worth. And so Ms. TMG said that's correct. Once you go Lamborghini, you never look back at regular cars the same. You'll never see the advertised high and exotic cars. See? So then why do we have to advertise ourselves? We have to have value for ourselves, because If you don't value yourself, no one else is either. How you introduce yourself and what standard you put up for people, that's exactly how they're going to handle you. That's exactly how they're going to handle you. And so for those of you that are coming out of narcissistic relationships, you have to remember this is a totally different type of relationship, totally different type of pain and heartache. There's a difference, you know, if you've had family members that have passed away, you have those that may have had a long terminal illness, but you know that the end is coming. Hey, Miss Jessica. You know that the end is coming. They're sick. You know that there is no healing for them. Let's say that, you know, the prognosis is bleak. We know that they're going to die. So eventually, you know, you prepare yourself mentally. You never can prepare yourself for the loss of a loved one. But the point is if they had a disease or if they've had a terminal illness, you know, you're preparing your mind for their departure. Or, you know, there's a difference between that and a sudden death. You know, a sudden death, they just die and you weren't even prepared. You never saw it coming. And then there's also the traumatic death. You know, something that was so traumatic that it just traumatized you. Well, you have to look at narcissist abuse is not like a regular relationship. Once you're discarded, you discard from your body and the brain hasn't even caught up with the fact that there's a limb missing. So the brain hasn't even caught up with pain that you're enduring. And as the pain starts setting in, it's almost like stubbing your toe and just waiting. You know how you hit your toe? Hey there, Miss Shirley. My favorite, my diva. I'm going to call you that too, my diva. That's one of our matriarchs on here, you guys. It's my diva. But when you stump your toe and then you're waiting for the pain to hit. I remember I hit my toe coming up the stairs one day and I heard it crack. I knew my toe broke. And the pain hadn't set in yet. My mind had to register that I knew my toe was broken. I was waiting for the pain to set in. And after I stood there for a few minutes, that pain started setting in. That's almost like narcissist abuse. When you're recovering from that, sometimes the pain doesn't set in right away. Sometimes it's prolonged, and when it sets in all at one time. And most of you guys are in the denial stage. There's no possible way I could be with somebody. Thank you, Melissa. But there's no way you can be with somebody and they can treat another. Hey, Donna, just being real. But there's no way that you can be with somebody and it's almost like they hate you. It's like they totally hate you. It's like, how can you be with somebody that you love that hate you so bad? You know, but they hate themselves. They project themselves on you. And now you're carrying their words and you're carrying their projection. They have morphed into you and you have morphed into them because they have you believing what they think about their own selves. And so for those of you that are hurting, you know, I understand. I'm there with you, you know, and you have this great support group. Yeah, sleeping with the enemy, exactly. But you have this support group here, and a lot of you guys have been through it. Everybody is at a different stage of healing. When you get a bruise, you know, you got the fresh bruise, you got the bruise that's going through discoloration, but everybody, oh, thank you, Miss Shirley. But you're going through different. Miss Shirley Summers says, my narc hurt me the worst because I didn't even know that they were narc until the after effects. Exactly. I thought I'd die from the depression. That's right. And you will not. You guys will not die from depression. Listen, do you know how powerful your words are? Your brain is a computer system. And when you have a computer, it's not that a person tore the computer up. It's not a stupid computer. The computer is responding to how you respond to the computer. It's giving you back what you're putting in it. Hey there, Rubiel. How are you, sir? But the computer is responding of how you if you don't take care of the computer's not going to take care of you. And so it's headspace and timing, you know, and the thing about it is that you have to be careful what comes out of your mouth. When you set in your mind that you're going to heal, when you set in your mind you are not what the narcissist told you are, that's when your healing journey begins. But you have to make up your mind that you're going to heal. You know, you have a choice. Either you're going to wallow in your grief and your pain, and I know it's painful. I'm not taking that away from anybody. Listen, I've been there. I've done that. I know. And I'm telling you, 5 years. One of the ladies asked me, 5 years. 5 years of recovery. But that was 22 years of torment. 22 years of torment. Hey, Miss Stephanie, 22 years of torment. It took 5 years to recover from that. And so some of you guys, I think the longest was 35 years. And so you guys got to understand that the longer the relationship, the deeper the pain, and the more you've given up, the harder, hey, Miss Robbie, the harder it is to pull yourself. You got to pull yourself back out. See, and Miss Shirley said I was there too, you know, but the deeper, the longer the relationship, the deeper the emotions, the more you invest it, the more you put yourself out there, the deeper the pain, the longer it is for you to pull everything back and start recovering. And so you can't rush the process. Some of you guys, I mean, every day is a different day. Every day, just like, you know, in AA meetings or NA meetings, you know, every day is a new day. Every day is a day of healing. You know, every day is a new day in your healing process. You have to go through the process. You can't skip the process. You have to go through the process. Don't connect to somebody thinking that you're going to heal. You know, don't connect to someone thinking you're going to heal, because you're taking garbage and baggage in there with you. You know, and so it takes time to heal, you guys. It takes time to heal. Okay. Let's see. Miss Shirley said, I feel like my narc relationship would be a testimony to someone. It will. The reason I entered in the relationship and why God brought me out of it, it definitely will be a healing to somebody. It sure will. All of you guys have had the same playbook, different people. Some of the people that were narcissists, if you notice all their behavior and the things they did, all of us can relate. They did the exact same thing and they injured us the exact same way. It's just that you're dealing with a totally different person. Each individual person was different. You have some narcissists that maybe had, well, most of them have post-traumatic stress. You know, some of them could have autism. Some of them have the psychopath, sociopath traits, tendencies, or diagnosis, borderline, bipolar. You know, each one of they may have cognitive or intellectual delays, you know, upper or lower narcissist. You know, so each individual narcissist is unique in themselves, but they all do the same thing. They all have the same symptoms, the same features. Hey, patients, how are you? So they all do the exact same thing. And all of you that are on, you know, Facebook and on YouTube, all of you guys, every time I do a video, most all of you say, oh my gosh, it's like you were in my house. Each one of you are talking, yeah, same script, different cast. You know, they play the same, I mean, come on, there's like the same actor in all movies. You know, but all of you guys can relate to each other's stories. All of us are relating to each other's stories. And this is the beautiful thing out of a support system like this, is that you can say, oh my gosh, I went through the exact same thing. But think about it. They have silenced your voice, and they silenced your voice where everything that you said was a lie or you're crazy. You know, yeah, intellectual delays. Vicky, intellectual or cognitive delays, it was formerly called mental retardation. And so they had mild, moderate, and severe mental retardation. But because that word is almost like, you know, it's a hurtful word. They took it and they took that word and made it a hurtful word. So they separated an intellectual or cognitive delay. Intellectual meaning delay in intelligence, or a cognitive delay means you know, slow to process information. They may have problems like processing information. You have narcissists that will also results of fetal alcohol syndrome. You know, so each narcissist is individual, but that narcissistic personality, the NPD disorder, if they truly are a narcissist, all of them have the exact same features. Now, all of them don't have all 9 traits. Some of them have 5, but it takes 5 to qualify for the diagnosis. And remember, you know, even though majority of you guys are not in the mental health field, you recognize the traits. You may not be able to diagnose that individual with NPD, but you recognize the traits. And it's not really a matter of trying to prove to somebody that that person is an NPD. What it is that you understand what you're dealing with and the pain that is causing you, and the after results, and the fact that most people don't believe, because most people use that word and they hurl that word out there as an insult. So most people don't pay any attention to it. And if they have actually you know, smear campaigns you, of course people are not going to believe you. But of course people are not, you know, because you're the crazy one, and they work very hard to make you seem like you're the crazy one. And so the beautiful thing is that all of you guys had these experiences, and not only have all you guys had these experiences, multiple personality disorder, yes, it's called dissociative disorder. They absolutely can. You would think that they did because they play all these different characters, but yes, they can have dissociative disorder as well. They can have anything in the DSM, which is the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Health Disorders. They can have anything in the book to include the personality disorder, you know, the personality disorder, and then they have other issues going on, you know, major depression, anxiety, you know, PTSD, all that as well. And so, same script, different cast. Exactly. So, well, I've done enough talking. So how about you guys? You guys want to ask some questions? You're welcome to ask some questions. Now, remember, if it starts scrolling real fast, You just go ahead and just repost your question. If I miss your question, repost the question. Most serial killers are narcissists. Not all of them. Some of them are psychopaths and psychopaths or sociopaths. So not all of them are narcissists. You know, not all of them. So Miss Shirley, I've got 3 grown children by ex-narcissist. To see him now, I feel sorry for him. His health is bad, and he's burned all bridges. No help at all. See, remember, they don't age very well. They age horribly. Remember, they age horribly. And so the worse it gets, they lose their looks. They can't connect with people anymore. They used to use their, if they were somatic, they used to, do they end up alone? Sometimes, and sometimes they don't. Miss Julie said that's karma, Miss Shirley. And some people use the term karma. Some people say what comes around goes around. Other people say the seed that you sow is the harvest that you reap. You know, everyone has a different belief system, so I try to respect that. But yes, what comes around goes around. Karma, you know, the seeds that you sow is the harvest that you reap. Todd B said, mine is aging like milk. 290 cholesterol at 37. See? They don't age very well, especially if they depended on their looks, and their looks start fading. Is horrible. Shirley said my narc was actually a female. I never thought that I'd be in those shoes, but God delivered me out of it, and it was the worst experience of my life. I'm glad, Shirley. I'm glad you recover from that. I am so glad. But you've learned something. You know, the sad thing is that we learn some things. It makes us more, you know, think about those people that have never truly been, let me see, narcissist stare and smirk gives me nightmares like no other. You know what? And the strength behind it is covering power. The mind is very powerful. You know, the thing about it is that when you begin to heal, that's when they lose power, because now you understand the game. And sad to say, you know, unless you've been in a narcissistic relationship, what are people going to say to you? You can give people a whole lot of, you know, and research, don't get me wrong, in the field of psychology, you want people to do research. You want people to do testing and measurement. You want people to do brain scans. You want them to present this information. But, you know, there's a difference, you know, and those people that are very supportive, those that have been survivors, you know, some of them may not have been survivors themselves, but they're still compassionate. But when a person has actually been through that, there's nothing you can say. There's nothing you can say there's nothing you can say to a person that has experienced it. And if you have not experienced it, you got to be careful what you say to that person. You got to be careful what you say to that person, because, you know, they'll take it as offense, like you don't understand. I'm going to give you a chance to try to figure it out. But if you don't understand, then I probably won't have a whole conversation with you. And let's see. So Miss Catherine here says, how do I leave and not have to feel the fear of telling him I'm done for good? I've taken him back at least 30 times in 7 years. I've been no contact almost a month. Well, Miss Catherine, do you have any children or anything like that by this narcissist? Do you guys have any kids? I don't understand, although so Miss Shirley said, I don't understand. Shirley Summer said, I don't understand, although she left. Why did she go to a person that was supposed to have been a friend of mine? Shirley, they don't care who you leave to go to. I mean, they don't care who they go. Whatever is another good supply. And then on top of that, if you whatever you're fond of, or whatever you have value of, is the thing that they'll attack or come up against. You know, it doesn't matter to them. Nobody has purpose. No one has value to them. Period. They just look at people as supply. And if the person has supply to offer, that's all they're concerned about. Flies don't care where they flies don't care where they go, as long as it's poop, right? Narcissists don't care where they go as long as there's supply. A parasite just finds a host to latch onto until they drain the host, and then they move on to another host. No kids, thank God. So Miss Catherine, you don't have to tell them. What was your question again? So make sure, okay, how do I leave and not have to feel the fear? You know, you're going to have to get beyond the fear, because you might feel the fear because they've instilled fear abusing you. And so if they have instilled fear, that was their whole thing in the trauma bonding. They instill fear. And so you have to learn to start letting that fear go. You have to step out and you have to do things, and you may have to do it afraid. You do it and you do it afraid. And you walk away and you stop contact with that person whatsoever. You're going to feel the pain that goes along with it. Flies go anywhere. There you go, see? Soaring Feather said, my narc slept with my oldest daughter. What? We all need to take a pause right here for a minute. The narc slept with your oldest daughter. I don't even know what to say right now. I'm so sorry, Soaring Feather. I really am. That is like an ultimate injury to another person for a narcissist that you are in a relationship to sleep with one of your children. I am so sorry. Vicky said, mine slept with my sister. See, they don't care. Who was that I was talking to? Shirley Summers? They don't care. Yeah, they're dogs. Disgusting. You're right. They don't care, Shirley. They don't care. They don't look at people as people. They don't look at people as human beings. They don't look at people with feelings and emotions. They don't look at people as people that can get their feelings hurt. Betrayal trauma, yeah. You know, they don't look at people like we look at people. You're looking at people based off of the fact that you have empathy. They don't have empathy. Yeah, a dog will return to his vomit. That's right. But they don't look at people with empathy. They look at people as supply. What can you supply to me? What can I get from you? Mine has gone through 3 or 4 girls in 3 months. They don't care as long as they can get, some fuel. That's all they care about. KR James said, "How do you get through the nightmares?" Thank you for the video. No problem. They're getting me through. You are so welcome. Okay, KR James, I'm gonna tell you like this. Now I'm gonna talk to you like this. So, if those of you that are having nightmares, first of all, you have to remember coming out of a relationship like this. Some of you guys are going through post-traumatic stress, and some of you going through complex post-traumatic stress. And remember, I did a video on post-traumatic stress versus complex post-traumatic stress, CPTSD. Post-traumatic stress is when you've been through, and I'm going to answer that question about the nightmares. Hey, Miss Donna, but when you have had, let me just use the military, for example, okay? That's kind of easy for me because, and not everybody that has trauma means that you had to go to war. So PTSD is not just a war-related, military-related diagnosis, okay? Remember that because a lot of you are coming out of a war zone with a narcissist and you have post-traumatic stress or CPTSD. So, post-traumatic stress could mean that you have been traumatized, something has happened to you, or you may have witnessed something that has completely traumatized you, and every day you're reliving that trauma over and over, you know, hypersensitivity, nightmares, you may have depression, anxiety, you may have flashbacks, you know. CPTSD is when you're still in the situation, you're having these symptoms, but you continuously are in the relationship, you're continuously being traumatized over and over and over again. Same thing. And that's what happened to a lot of you that were in narcissistic relationship. You're constantly being traumatized. There is no break. You keep getting traumatized over and over again. So nightmares happens to be, you know, one of the symptoms of post-traumatic stress. What I tell you is those of you that have access to a mental health professional, a lot of them may not understand narcissist abuse. They may not. A lot of them, you know, find a trauma professional that deals with post-traumatic stress so they can help. Find someone that deals with post-traumatic stress so they can help you when it comes to symptom management, you know, finding coping skills. And even if they need to refer you to a med prescriber, they do have medication that assists with nightmares. I know with the clientele that I have, I usually send them back to the med providers to request assistance with nightmares. There is a medication specifically for nightmares, and it also is for blood pressure, but it was originally a blood pressure medication. They found that it helped with nightmares. And so those of you that experience nightmares, if you believe in I do believe in med management until you get into counseling to work on you know, what has happened, you know, what you guys are going through. But there is medication specifically for nightmares, and you get into counseling to help you deal with the nightmares. You know, your brain is trying to leak out the trauma. That's basically what's happening, is leaking trauma out there, and it's coming in the form of nightmares. It's probably themed, you know, if you look at the nightmares, if you write your nightmares down, I guarantee you sometimes it doesn't make sense, but it all has a theme. You know, there's something behind those dreams that may be trauma related. And so let's see. Shirley said, this girl was a very big downgrade, though. I didn't get it, and she went with her and showed pictures of her bedroom being the same way I had mine. I don't get it. But it's all to hurt you. Did it hurt? The question is it hurting you? If it's hurting you, that was the whole goal. If she was a downgrade, that's the whole goal. And basically what they're saying is you're not all that what you thought you were. They'll go get a toothless dog. Let me tell you, they even sexually abuse your dogs, your animals. They don't care, Shirley. So they'll sexually abuse an animal. Angel Grace says, sometimes everything seems to be going well, and I would just break out crying for no reason. That's normal. Yeah, that's a part of the grief and loss process. You guys, I challenged you guys before, go and look up. So they do have the 5 stages of healing, and they have the 7 stages of healing. You just pick out which one suits you. I usually use 7 stages of healing because the last 2 is more in the healing phase. But you go look up the stages of grief. Everybody doesn't go through all the stages of grief in order. Everybody doesn't go through all the stages of grief. And sometimes when you think that you've completed one of the stages of grief, you might return back to it. Some people keep returning. You know, each one of them you need to process through. And so you think when you've processed through one, just embrace the fact that you're going through another one. Understand what you're going through, feel what you're going through, and then sometimes you may return to another one, go right back to denial. Then you might go back to anger. Then you may go back down to bargaining. Then you may go back to pleading, So, but each one of those that you are experiencing, you need to experience, process through. And when you're finally processed through, you won't return back to it. You'll process through it, and you won't return back to it, But it's just a part of the grief and loss process. It is very, very normal, you guys. Very, very normal. Let's see. Shirley said, Miss Shirley said, once I got free, it took me 1.5 years to get a hold of my thoughts and anxiety. Exactly. Let me tell you guys something. Do you have to go through all of them? No, ma'am. No, Donna. A lot of times, some people don't go through all the stages of grief. They don't, and some people do. And it's not, everybody doesn't go in order either. So some people are assuming you're going to start off from the top, denial, the shock. And some people go through a shock 6 months later. Some people think they're processing through, and all of a sudden the reality hits like, oh my gosh, I can't believe, some of you, oh my gosh, I can't believe I was in a relationship with a narcissist. And you go through the shock and denial, which is probably number one. But some of you guys, you may not go through the shock and denial until you realize what you were dealing with. And then the reality sits in. I went through the shock and denial 1 year or 2 later, and it had already been 1 year or 2. And I went through the shock and denial part, So everybody doesn't go in order, and everybody doesn't go through all the stages. I don't know who I am anymore. I haven't relearned. See, now that is a challenge for you to discover who you are. Another thing too, like Miss Madiva was saying, if you don't get control of your mind will take control of you. And you don't want your mind to run rampant, because if you let your mind run rampant, your mind will drive you crazy. Your mind will run thoughts through your head. And for those of you who say, I don't have any control of my thoughts, yes, you have the opportunity. You have to think on purpose. You guys have to think on purpose. And when those thoughts are running through your head, you don't just let them thoughts run. Because if you let those thoughts run, it creates its own story, and it makes it worse. All you know is this person cheated. But by the time your thoughts run through your head, you've created a whole story that's not even true. Because you have no idea how they did what they did. Now, true enough, you may be familiar. The mind is a terrible master and a wonderful servant. You know what, Red? I would hug you right now if I could. Hold on. RedYou'reTheBomb.com. Exactly. You have to master your mind. You can't let your mind master you. If you let your mind master you, your mind will drive you crazy. You literally have to think on purpose. You have to be purposeful in your thinking. And if you allow your mind to run wild when you're in pain, your mind will take you into the wilderness. You would literally lose your mind. Some of you guys that have been discarded, you're trying to figure out why, but you're running yourself crazy. Why did you do this? Why did you do this? But you're thinking from the perspective of a person that has empathy and the ability to feel compassion. You're thinking from a compassionate, empathetic mind. Narcissists do not have compassionate, empathetic minds. They don't feel compassion and they don't feel empathy. And so some of you guys are trying to figure out the narcissist based on how you think. You have to think like they think. They don't think. They don't care. They want fuel. Fuel is their main objective. Your car runs out of fuel. Go ahead and talk to your car if you want to. Go ahead and talk to the needle if you want to. When your car stops and it has no have any children by the narcissist and we're able to walk away. So those of you that didn't have any children, those of you that will walk away with no kids, you know, that's a blessing to you guys. Those of you that are having a co-parent, or let's put it this way, Shannon, you're not co-parenting, you're counter-parenting. That's what they're doing. They're counter-parenting. So do this, Shannon. In your process of healing, you know, you're going to have to heal. You're going to take over your mind and you have to make the choices you're going to heal. This is what you do. Every time you come in contact with a narcissist, in your mind, even if you journal or write down, it's like you become your own therapist. Use it as a measuring tool to see where you are at them. The less you'll start to feel. Eventually, it'll get to the point, just like TMG said over here, that she had to face the narcissist, and where she thought that she was really going to hurt, she realized, oh my gosh, I didn't feel anything. Same thing that happened to a lot of us that have gotten beyond it is that you came across, and every time you had to come in contact with a narcissist, it was a gauge to see where you were at. Not where they're at, because they're not going anywhere. It's a gauge to see where you're at in your healing process. If you still respond, well, if you still react, instead of being wise and responding, that means you got to pull back and you work on it some more. And that takes time. Only love to, okay, whatever. So let's see here. A whole year of therapy and God saved my life. So see, some of you guys have to get into therapy. Some of you guys have to get into therapy. Therapy is helpful. And I know not all therapists understand narcissist abuse. Find a trauma professional. Find someone that understands post-traumatic stress so they can teach you coping skills. If you need med management, they can refer you for med management. And then just continue watching the videos. I'm not the only one out there. I know one of my people that in the beginning, I used to watch Angie Atkinson all the time. Then I found Quinn Holiday, you know, and I listen to Quinn Holiday, and you'll start noticing you're healing when you're not binge watching anymore. A lot of times you're binge watching because you need some confirmation that you're not crazy. You need help. And what you'll notice is slowly you'll stop binge watching. Then you'll come on every now and then. And that's not a problem. That's just letting you know that you're healing. That's all it means. Hey there, Miss Denise, how are you? It works wonders. Yes, ma'am. Yes, it does. It's a choice. Yes, ma'am. Healing is a choice. You have to make a choice to heal. You have to make a choice to heal. We do not deserve to be victims for the rest of our lives, but we are victors. And we deserve to heal, and we have to make a choice to heal. Let's see. Miss Vicky said, I put a flyer out with a picture of the narcissist to bring awareness about him. Now I'm scared. Well, Miss Vicky, you messed up. You shouldn't have done that. You just declared war on yourself. You just declared war. You're never going to win at the game with a narcissist. Yeah, don't fight. You don't fight fire with fire. You don't do that. You do not fight fire with fire. If you did that, you be prepared. There's going to be some backlash. There is going to be some backlash. They're not going to let you win. You put his name out there in the face, but it shows them that you're not over them yet. It shows that they still have a door that they can walk through. You've been binge watching like crazy, loving me. That's right. And you'll notice, you know, after a while, you'll notice that that you'll begin to heal, and then you won't binge watch anymore. You know, you'll notice that you'll come on whenever you want to. But when you binge watch, that's a good thing. Binge watching is good. You find a coach or you find someone on YouTube that you really like. If you like my channel, you know, I've got almost 100-something videos on there. Just binge watch them. Get them in your system. You know, look how long it took for the narcissist to get into your system. Equally so is like penicillin. You got to get it into your system. And you don't stop taking the penicillin just because you feel better. You keep taking the penicillin until you prove that you respond differently, that you don't react anymore, you respond. And that you don't have maybe nightmares anymore. You don't cry every night anymore. But it's almost like in the military, we used to go on runs. And whenever we go on long runs, when you caught that second wind, it was like, you got a whole nother set of lungs like, oh my gosh, I can run a little longer. You know, so you're looking for the second wind. You will know, you'll understand what a second wind is when you get it. It's almost like you come to life for the first time, like, oh my gosh, this is what it feels like to be at peace and feel good about myself. Let's see, Red said, learn non-attachment and just observe. Even observe how your temple, your body responds to people's energy. Yep, you're wiser and more knowledgeable than you will ever know. Absolutely. Your body keeps score. I mean, how many of you guys go get the book? The body keeps score. Your body, when I was learning about trauma, as I was getting my certification as a trauma professional, they talked about the fact you have the is lymphatic nervous system. I think that's the one it is. But the nervous system, that particular nervous system keeps score of your trauma. And so your body responds because that trauma is within your nervous system. And so you have to learn to get the trauma out the nervous system. So your body absorbs that negative energy and that trauma. And your body continues to respond off of the trauma. So every time you get around them, every time you get around, sorry, my giant cat. But every time you get around them, your body responds. And so you get anxious or you get really nervous, but they sense that. And so for, who was I talking, Miss Shannon, you know, pay attention to your body. Watch how your body responds. And the less your body responds, the more healing that you know you're entering into. Stay busy. So I don't sit on my own crap. It took years to be me. I did it though. Exactly. Find something to do. Find something to take up that time that narcissist used to have. Denise said, I left my narcissist and got proactive and don't allow things to fester and stew. I'm sorry, Miss Denise, I was reading it backwards. I know what you were saying though. But yeah, but those places that narcissist had access to, or those places, you know, now when they leave are like empty pockets. Fill those empty pockets. Some of you guys are entrepreneurs. Some of you guys are business people. Some of you guys are painters and artists. Some of you guys are actresses, actors. Some of you guys are book writers, screenwriters, playwrights. Do you know that with your experience, do you know how many movies we can make? Do you know how many of us can produce movies? And some of you guys need to write a script. Some of you guys need to write a script, a movie script, and send it in and see if someone will pick it up as a movie. We can write a movie about this, you guys. But at least you get it on the movie screen, you get it out there, you get the awareness out there. You know, a lot of the movies have narcissists in them, but some of you guys are screenwriters, you know, but you guys have talents that you haven't discovered. Some of you guys, because you have been held hostage by a narcissist. And so you guys have never discovered yourself because you've been listening to what the narcissist has told you you are and what you're not. And you guys are much more powerful than that. And think about it. They attached to you because they knew that you were powerful. It's just that you didn't sense that you were powerful. And they played on your weaknesses. They played on the low self-esteem. You guys are more powerful than what you really think. You are not your experiences. You are not your past. Loving Me said, I find something to do, but that can't be every minute, every second. As soon as you get still time and you have to be still, sometimes then bam, there it goes. You know, it's a part of the grief process. Yeah, we would all make some good movies. We all need to be in a movie together. Pick up a hobby, right? I fell too hard too fast. So loving me, that means that there was already stuff going on in you. You know, why did you attach so quickly to somebody like that? There was some empty spots, some empty pain, or there was some pain inside of you that attracted them. They're attracted to pain. They're attracted to empty spots. You know, I think she was slick jealous of me too. Definitely jealous of you. Of course. She was stealing from you and didn't even know. Yeah, of course narcissists are jealous of you. The narcissist has a negative aura about them. Exactly. Ted Berry said Quinn has one or more movies. I need to go check them out. I know I saw him advertising for it. I need to go and purchase him so I can go watch him myself. I really like him. He's a very talented young man. Very talented young guy. Guys, got any more questions? So listen. So you guys know that I always say I'm not going to stay on long. I always say, you guys know I always do. But because of the fact that I'm committed to you guys, when I start talking, I don't want to get off because I love talking to you guys. You guys really make me research. See, you're already laughing at me. See, don't judge my life. Don't judge my life. You guys know I always say the same thing. I always say that I'm not going to stay on long. But this time, you guys, I just need you guys to have mercy on me, okay? Because I have not slept. I have, oh, thank you so much, Soaring Feather. What's my email? It is drcar MENBRYANT@outlook.com. So it's Dr. Carmen Bryant. If you look at my name up on the YouTube, just put DR and then Carmen Bryant, all one word, outlook.com. Thank you so much. I love you guys. You guys are an awesome group of people, and I love being here with you guys. I really do. Thank you for being here for this community. So many like you, Angie, Dana, Quinn, Meredith, have helped me in healing, and it takes less time for me to spot narcs. Exactly. We have become... We walk around with our narc glasses on. We're going to get some narc glasses. It's amazing how trauma can also help you identify someone potentially harmful just by the warning signs you buy. Yes, yes. Thank you so much. I love you too. Have gun will travel. I like that. Sounds powerful. I love you guys too. I really do. And the only reason why I'm saying this, you guys, is because I haven't had any sleep. So I have been up for over 24 hours. And I have not had any sleep. And I came in here just, I made sure I got in the house quickly so I can get in here and talk to you guys. And, but I haven't slept yet, you guys. I need some sleep. I'm tired and I'm hungry. But I wanted to make sure I came on here to talk to you guys. And you guys are very faithful. You guys don't know how much I appreciate you guys. You guys go cut off. I'm back. Oh, okay. Got cut off. But I really, you know, you guys really... I will. I'm gonna go to sleep, you guys. I can't lay down and go to sleep with these eyelashes on, y'all. These eyelashes make me keep my eyes open, and they're heavy. But I haven't had any sleep in 24 hours. I think I slept maybe like 2 hours because I was busy. I had things to do, and so I was gonna get some sleep tonight. But I wanted to make sure I came on here to talk to you guys. You know, I'm committed to you guys. I love talking to you guys. You guys, you know, believe it or not. You know, as you guys are learning from me, I'm learning from you as well. And the beautiful thing is that many of you men come on here and you share your stories as well. You guys challenge me because I am a mental health professional. And I normally do not, in my private practice, I do not treat personality disorders. Notice that if I don't work with personality disorders. Usually I don't deal with the more severe cases of mental health disorder. Like usually if the bipolar is controlled with medication, I'll work with people with that have bipolar, but people that they're not medicated and they're more severe cases, I refer out because I'm a private practitioner and I don't have the support system like I used to have when I worked with the medical professionals. And so a lot of times when I'm talking to you guys, I talk to you guys from a place of being a survivor myself and putting my education together, and then what I've witnessed in a clinical setting and what I witnessed as I meet people. I do have people ask a lot of times is, you know, as a mental health professional, you know, would it be appropriate for you to bash people with mental health issues? Absolutely not. But when I went through training, to become a certified, not sexual, but for the batterers course with the batterers. And when I taught, I wanted to make sure that I was being fair. And what the instructor told me is that you have to pick and choose who you're going to work for. He says, you can't work with the batterer and with the survivors. He says, because then you're not going to give one or the other 100%. You're not going to give your all to one or the other. He says, batterers are hurt too. He liked working with the batterers because they were hurt people and he had the patience to work with them. He said hurting people hurt people, and some of these batterers, which was true, are very, I mean, even the narcissists are abused individuals that you know, some of their stories are so sad. And he said, I have the passion to work with this group of people. I did not have the passion to work with this group of people because I'm a survivor myself. My passion is to work with survivors and people that have become victims of this. And so my passion 100% goes to survivors. So I have to split that, and I know that they're hurting, but my support and my obligation and my commitment is to those that are hurt and that are coming out of the situation because I can relate to you. And so this is the reason why I chose to work with you guys and make these videos and write books. So you guys stay tuned to my book is at the publisher is working on my book. They just finished my cover and it's really pretty. I really like it. So they're during the they're in the editing process. Domestic violence, yes, that's my passion. Domestic violence recovery. But you guys stay tuned. Hopefully you guys support me. Hopefully the book should be out within a month or two. So it's with the editor. They don't have a lot to edit. And so I'm going to go to sleep too. Good night to you, Miss Jamila. But hopefully you guys support me. As soon as the book comes out, I'm gonna let you guys know, okay? And I'm gonna put it in the YouTube in there. Whenever they put it out, they're gonna put it out on the Amazon. They're probably gonna put it out, I think it's Barnes and Nobles, and there's some other bookstores. But as soon as the book comes out and I get it in my hand, I'm gonna show you guys. Hopefully it'll be within the next month or two, 60 to 90 days. Hopefully the book will be out. I have it in my hand so I can hold up my book and say, here's my book. You guys please support me. And I thank you guys. Thank you guys so much. You always support me, Shirley. That's what I'm talking about. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you guys. Thank you guys for all the questions that you guys asked. Thank you guys because you challenged me. What's my name? My name is Dr. Carmen Bryant. My name is Dr. Carmen Bryant. I am on YouTube, so if you have not subscribed to my YouTube channel, sometimes I may not be able to come Facebook Live, but if you go and subscribe to my YouTube channel, when I travel, I'll be able to come over to the YouTube channel, and of course, when I travel, I can only come on one channel. It doesn't look right for me to walk around with two phones in my hands like this, you know. So, you know, if you guys have not over here on Facebook, if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, go over to Dr. Carmen Bryant, Overcoming Narcissist Abuse. Share these videos. You know, share this. You don't know who you're helping. And Denise, thank you so much for being with me tonight. Thank you, Shirley, and all you guys that came on here. You guys make what I do worthwhile. It gives me great pleasure. Nice to meet you too, ma'am. Thank you for being here to support me. But it gives me great pleasure and great honor to sit and study, to sit and enhance my knowledge, and, you know, to know that we're not alone, that you guys share some of the exact same experiences that I have, and that each one of us has experienced. And so we're not crazy. We're not alone. It is not something that just happened in our head. And whether other people believe us or not, who cares? We know it happened, and we're going to recover, and we're going to tell people about it. We're going to make people aware. And so my heart goes out to you guys. Thank you guys for your support. Thank you guys for coming in tonight. I am going to sleep because I'm tired and my nose is stuffed up now. So if I start rubbing my nose, so when I get tired, my nose gets stuffed up too. And so thank you guys so much. Miss Catherine, good. Well, come on over there. Thank you so much. Thank you guys so much for being here, okay? So I am going to get off the camera and pull these big snuffleupagus eyelashes off, and I'm going to sleep. And I snore, so I'm going to sleep hard. Okay, you guys? And so stay tuned on Tuesday. Been meaning to buy a book of narcissism. I definitely thank you so much for your support. Elizabeth, that's pretty. Elizabeth, thank you. And you guys have a wonderful evening. I know some of you guys that are in the UK, I think some of you guys are already on your way to work. For those of you tonight, thank you for being here. I know for some of you guys it's really, really late. Thank you so much, Mr. Walter, for being here. And you guys have an awesome week, okay? You guys be encouraged, be beautiful. You kings and queens, be empowered. Be empowered. Okay, and you guys have a wonderful, wonderful evening and an awesome week. And I will be back on Tuesday, okay? You guys